Joining us now to talk more about the changes this Ash Wednesday is the chancellor of the Brooklyn Diocese and pastor at St. Pancras Parish, Msgr. Stephen Aguggia. And Msgr, thanks for being here. As we just heard in Jessica's story, Ash Wednesday looks very different this year. Normally, we'd be wearing our ashes on our foreheads for everyone to see, but now with the sprinkling of the ashes, you say it's more personal. Talk about that.
Sure. I think it's more personal because really nobody will know that you're wearing those ashes except you yourself. And in that sense, it's more personal because it makes us think about what those ashes really mean. Lent is a time when we're called to look deeply into ourselves and see what we might need to change to become holier people, to draw closer to God. And so accepting those ashes for ourselves is an acceptance really of a challenge to take up what the spirit of Lent is really all about for ourselves. And since we might be the only ones who see those ashes on our own heads, it really is a personal decision to do that.
Speaking of challenges, I was just talking to my kids about what they're giving up for Lent, but after a year of sacrifice, many are wondering what's left to give up.
It has been a year of sacrifice, and in a lot of ways, this past year has itself been a penance for many of us. But there are things that we sacrifice, things that we give up in order to make ourselves holier people. Those sacrifices really are meant to unite us to Christ in some way. So it's not just a question of giving things up like, I'm not going to eat M&Ms this Lent. It really is a question of giving up things that take us away from concentrating on the presence of the Lord in our lives.
I know a lot of people who are giving up social media for Lent, but many bishops are saying don't do it. Now that parishes are using social media to connect with parishioners and people are using it to connect with family during the pandemic. So what's your take on unplugging for Lent?
I agree. The social media has been such a godsend, really, during this pandemic time for so many people who have been unable to get out and to get to church. So I think if people are using it for that reason, certainly it's not something they would want to give up. Mm-hmm. But I think everybody needs to look at his or her own situation, his or her own life, and see what it is that we're using that social media for. Is it just for gossiping about other people or things like that? Then maybe it is something to give up, or at least partly give up.
All right, something to think about. Msgr. Stephen Aguggia, chancellor of the Brooklyn Diocese and pastor at St. Pancras Parish, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell to get updates to all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.